What's going on, family? It's your guy, Boro, the Lucky Libra. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. All right, as you can see by the title, we'll be wrapping up the signs through the 8th house series with Pisces in the 8th house. All right, shout out to all my Leo risings in the building. All right, family. So before we get into it, I'd appreciate if y'all could leave a good brother a like so we could continue to build up the community and circulate these gems. All right, hit the share, hit the subscribe if you're new here. I give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. All right. That's why I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate all the genuine love and support y'all been sending. Okay. Make sure to tap into my website. If you'd like to connect with the Lucky Libra, tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. Let's get right into it. Because I know my Leo rising's been waiting. I know my Pisces in the 8th house's been waiting. Okay. Now, you may be having Pisces in the 8th house. You most likely are a Leo rising. All right. It's possible that you could be a Cancer rising, and it's possible that you could be a Virgo rising, okay? Depending on your chart setup, all right? You might have Pisces starting your 7th house, but depending on your house alignments, you might have it start the 8th house cusp as well, all right? So, off rip, what is the 8th house? Okay, the 8th house is the area of our life dealing with deep emotion, heavy emotion, buried emotion, all right? So this is the house that we're dealing with our traumas, with our wounds. There's no light in this house. This house deals with the dark, all right? So we have to learn how to swim through our emotions and our subconscious in this house. So this house is dealing with our secrets, hidden energies about ourselves, huge influence on transformation, regeneration, and rebirth energy in this house, all right? This is the house where we're going to see how we're influenced to initiate transformation in our life, or what type of situations we may attract that influence transformation in our lives, right? We're dealing with our deep passions, or our deep motives. We're dealing with this is spiritually inclined house. So we're dealing with the occult, esoteric like knowledge and wisdom, which is hidden knowledge and wisdom, right? And we're also dealing with shared values. All right, so this would be the resources of your partner, resources, of an associate that you connected to. This would be your wife, your husband's resources, all right? Inheritances in this house, okay? So we throw Pisces in here. Mystical, magical, dreamy, imaginative, compassionate Pisces in here. Now, for one, Pisces is a water sign, and this is a subconscious house, a water house. All right, so this what makes Leo risings off the rip pretty intuitive. This what makes a lot of fire rising signs very intuitive, because they have, fire placements in fire houses which deal with expression, vision, and insight. And then they have water constellations hovering over their subconscious houses. So they're going to feel deeply. A lot of fire risings are naturally empaths. They're sensitive to emotions. Or to vibrations overall. So when we put Pisces in the 8th house, Pisces is one of the most spiritual but yet sensitive signs in the zodiac. Does sensitive mean soft? Does sensitive mean you a punk? Does sensitive mean No, it does not. No, it does not. It means that this picks up a whole lot. That's what sensitive means. There's a lot of motherfuckers out here sensitive that'll whip your ass, all right? So, when we talk about sensitive and we put this energy in the 8th house, okay, for one, well, not even to highlight sensitivity, just all of those things I said about Pisces, right? Compassionate, imaginative, dreamy, right? We have the influences of Jupiter and Neptune here that's dealing with spiritual expansion, okay? Dealing with our experiences, our spiritual essence. Then we got Neptune with that spiritual essence, dealing with our creativity, But the one thing about the Pisces constellation is because it's so connected to the astral realms, because it's so influenced by its dreams and imaginations and its subconscious, when we put that energy in the 8th house, when it comes to trauma and wounds, they can easily disassociate with these things, okay? Pisces energy is good for connecting to certain things as an escape mechanism from dealing with reality or dealing with certain situations in their life period. So when we put Pisces in the 8th house, it is very easy for these individuals to experience something in their youth, in their adolescent stages that was abuse, that was traumatic, that was transformative on their emotions, and they can blank these situations out They can extremely disassociate with you. Remember, yeah, we're gonna work from the mud. We're gonna work from the ugly stuff first, and we're gonna raise it up. So these individuals can disassociate here. They can be very unaware of their emotional wounds. So they could disassociate so much as they get older in life. They might forget these experiences to the point they have to be reminded about these shits through therapy, through counseling, through their reading with when they book the Lucky Libra to connect with them, and I start reading their 8th house and their energies. I'm like, yo, hold up. Is this energy in your 8th house trickling into relationships? Have we healed here? Have we acknowledged the shadow here? They're like, what you mean? What abuse? What trauma? I mean that shit, no. We have to acknowledge that, Pisces in the 8th house. We have to acknowledge that this is what's gonna invoke a lot of your positive transformation in life. Making sure that you don't stay disassociated from your roots, from your emotional roots, from emotional pain. All right? So these people can damn near be unaware of these things. These things start to come back into conscious through therapy, through counseling, through certain situations that might give a flashback or some shit. And then, even at that, when they're reminded about a certain situation, they want to blank that out, or may try to blank out that person, place, or thing that is kind of bringing back flashbacks of these things, right? So this can start to become a bit self-sabotaging and self-destructive the more you run from acknowledging these wounds here. All right? This starts to become self-sabotaging, self-destructive, because it starts to affect your ability to connect with others. You may start to become dismissive in your relationships when there's things that are important, aka people taking advantage of you in different type of ways, you being too open in different type of ways that makes you put you in a vulnerable state, right? In a relationship, or dealing with others in friendships. We're talking relationships of all sorts at this point. All right. So we want to make sure we're not compounding things from a self-sabotaging nature here. Okay. Another thing that creates wounds here, or creates transformation with Pisces in the 8th house, is having things dealing with their creative abilities, their creative pursuits, things dealing with their dreams at a young age or whatnot, and these things being suppressed. This can be likely for a lot of Leo risings, especially with that Scorpio in that 4th house. All right. I don't want to go too much into that, but you guys could go check out Scorpio in the 4th house, or my Leo rising videos, to understand why that energy is so important for Leo risings to understand. And our 4th house is important for all rising signs to understand. But so when we get into the 8th house, a lot of that becomes suppressed energy, things you don't want to acknowledge, or things that start to affect your ability to jump into creative pursuits or whatnot later in life, based off of the environment you may have been developed in that was either restricting, suppressing, or limiting your ability to express yourself from a creative sense, right? Pisces deal with your creativity, your dreams, your imagination, one of the most creative signs in the zodiac. All right, so we have to be aware here. Leo risings, if you've had these things suppressed, because this is going to help you to start realizing why you may hesitate, or you may half step, you may overthink when it comes to things that you want to pursue from a creative level, period. So this what helps to heal, though. So we have to acknowledge these things first, right? And then you got to make sure you start experiencing these things that fulfill you, that may have been suppressed from a young age, or in any type of restrictive environment you may have been in. You have to start diving into these things to fulfill you. So a lot of the time, these individuals have to work through their creativity, working with magic, spirituality, something of the arts, even things dealing with theater and dancing, because we have influences of Neptune here. So Neptune jumps into all type of creative realms. Neptune has a whole lot to do with creative movement and arts. So these are things that you may have wanted to do when you're young. Like you wanted to, be in this dance program in high school, this, that, and the third, but your parents were strict on you doing this course or doing that or whatever it may be. You know, the things you creatively wanted to get invested into wasn't as of importance to others, to the point you got to make sure you don't start dimming down your own passions here because of the environment you grew up in. And part of what happens here, Pisces also it deal with connecting to certain things for an escape mechanism. Now, we already know the 8th house is deep, dark, deals with traumas, wounds. It deals with your desires. It deals with your sexual influences, right? It deals with your desires. Damn, this fucking ring light is bright as shit. I might not never do a video ever again with the fucking, without these shades. I don't know, damn. But with all that being said, you know, with Pisces dealing with that energy where they may connect to things from escape mechanism, and we know how much influences of your desires lay in the 8th house, this can create a lot of attachment and addiction here. This placement does have a strong potential for attachment and addiction. It does. It does. So, you know, you have to be careful what you cling on to based off of what's being suppressed in this house. Even when listen, like, you even got to be careful taking prescription drugs with this alignment. You got to be careful. You got Pisces in the 8th house. You can't even be taking prescription drugs like that. Even when it comes to anesthesia and shit, you might go into surgery, feel that shit for the first time. Depending on what's suppressed in this 8th house, you may want to connect to that feeling again. Especially because you feel like you went to another world. You got to be careful here. You got to be careful here, guys. And this is coming from somebody with an extremely addictive personality. Venus in the 8th house, all right? So, you know, these are things I have to be aware of in my own life. So I'm pretty aware of other placements that have a strong potential to develop attachments and addiction. And this is one of the places, all right? Not only, remember, we can use so many different things as an escape mechanism, right? So yes, we could throw drugs in here. Be careful, prescription drugs, getting dependent on these things or whatnot. Intimacy and sex. The intimacy and sex can become such an attachment here, you know? So you have to be careful of that too. You know, Pisces love love. Pisces love romance. Pisces love intimacy. So that can start to be something that's used and can be overindulged into, right? And you need to get to the root of where this is stemming from. All right? So this is why, you know, we all need therapy. We all need counseling. But Pisces in the 8th house needs a support system, needs somebody to confide in. They need that astrologer they're connected with. They need that type of outlet here. They need that. Especially if they had extreme situations of having their imagination suppressed, all right? But at the end of the day, we got to learn how to self-heal. The 8th house teaches us that we have to learn how to self-heal. So we learn how to do that, Pisces, by making sure you don't continue to neglect the things that you are creatively invested in, the things that make you feel lively, the things that you have a strong potential to participate with, and also acknowledging, you know, acceptance is very important here. You cannot be in denial with this alignment. Pisces in the 8th house can be a little in denial because you're dealing with these dreamy energies and you may want to stay in that cloud. You may want to stay connected to that person, place, or thing, substance, habit that keeps you away from connecting to your roots or wounds, right? So you want to be aware of that here. Now, connecting to these Neptunian-like energies, these creative-like energies to fulfill yourself, to self-heal, to transmute energy, to, you know, get to the root of dealing with your wounds. Pisces, once again, is one of the most spiritual signs in the zodiac, and then you put that in one of the most spiritual houses in the zodiac. So yeah, and then it's a trine on top of that. So it's in a water house, which it resonates with water. There's strong healing properties here. So this is why we want to acknowledge the mud, the dirt, you know, the ugly stuff, the wounds. We want to acknowledge it so we can unlock these healing properties. But it's hard to access these properties when you're not doing the work, acknowledging the shadow here. When you start acknowledging the shadow, stop trying to get back to understanding What is it you disassociated yourself with, and how that situation affects your current circumstances in life, your current pursuits in life, your current relationships in life. When you start acknowledging these things, man, you guys have some powerful healing properties here, and a lot of you guys have strong influences to deal with magic, to deal with mystic energy, you know, real sorcerer energy here. You know, these people connecting the creativity, the arts, different forms of spirituality to help them heal, they could start getting busy with spirituality here. Maybe it's astrology, maybe it's tarot, maybe it's they're conjuring things up. They're into ritual, they're into moon rituals. Whatever it is, they're into candle magic, whatever it is, the black magic, whatever it is. With Pisces in the 8th house, y'all could start shifting a whole bunch of shit when y'all get into spirituality. You know, you guys damn near could get lost in spirituality because the 8th house is deep. We dive deep in the 8th house, right? And then Pisces is for one, it's flexible, and then it's boundless, it's limitless. So Pisces in the 8th house can be highly, extremely intrigued by the occult, extremely intrigued by esoteric knowledge and wisdom. I was dealing with a Leo rising chick before, and when I started putting her on to the real deal about astrology, she started losing her mind. We couldn't not talk about astrology. You know, we couldn't not watch astrology content together. Like, that's what it was. Sometimes it takes that spark or somebody to confide in with the Leo rising so they can start making a connection, you know, and they start doing the research on its own. Pisces energy is very studious. We have Jupiter and Neptune here. So this is why we want to do the work. This is why we want to do the work, Pisces and 8th house, because you don't want to neglect these healing qualities you have. You guys, let's move on to some things about your sexual nature, attraction, and connecting with others. Talking about healing, y'all have the ability. Okay, I seen a video. I posted a video on my story on Instagram earlier this week, a couple of days ago. Somebody sent it to me, and it was a TikTok of a guy. He had heart failure. He had mechanical heart failure, and he's telling a story to his friends. He's saying he was with this chick, and they were sitting in the car or something, and it got quiet. And when it gets quiet, you can hear his heartbeat. And she was like, "What's that?" He was like, "That's my heart. You know, my heartbeat. You could hear my heartbeat based off of boom, 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 what I've been through." And she was like, "We need to have sex, because if we have sex, I can heal you. But that's the way I got to connect to you to get your energy so I could receive it and then I could disperse it." They have these qualities here. Y'all think shit like that is bullshit. It ain't no bullshit. People with this alignment probably already, Pisces in the 8th house want to get to a evolved state where you're acknowledging your traumas and shadows so you can shift your own energy, transmute your own energy before you start healing others. You don't really start healing others before you start healing yourself, right? So you got to get to the root of that first. Everything we just spoke about this first half of the video. And then now these are part of the healing properties you manifest. And it's not just sexually, but they have these qualities here. They do. It just is what it is. I'm telling you, they could become beasts with spirituality. Especially if they get into Reiki, spiritual massaging and shit. Oh man. They will rub some tension all up out them chakras. So yes, it gets very powerful here. You know, but with great power comes great responsibility. That's why it could become overwhelming, because Pisces could deal with a lot of bullshit here. Pisces can deal with the motherfucking all type of gossip, relationship issues and shit that caused the trauma and wounds and shit at an early age or whatnot. Like I said, abusive situations, and that's why the abuse, when shit is that traumatic, is not going to be hard to just disassociate with that situation. Who wants to have that a potential form of abuse or whatnot on the conscious like that, especially at a young age? Who's being taught shadow work and emotional transmutation and spiritual healing at a young age in elementary school, in junior high? Who's being taught these things? And these might be some of the stages that they experience, you know, different forms of abuse here. Because you gotta remember, 8th house is dealing with sex, traumas, and wounds, and Pisces is a very intimate sign. It's a very intimate sign. So this is why intimacy and sex can become an addiction here, can become an attachment here based off some early scenarios. So y'all put one and two together what I'm trying to say, you know? All right. So we got to take accountability for healing. We got to take accountability for healing. And I want everybody to know, despite the forms of trauma or abuse you've been through, you got to understand, all right? It may be a hard pill to swallow, but you may have to understand a lot of you guys may have signed contracts to experience some pain in different ways, and understand that you are capable of transmuting that energy and being a vessel and example to others on how to persevere through them situations. So like I said, with great power come great responsibility, but sometimes the toughest battles are given to the toughest soldiers. Okay, guys? So this is why we're doing this. This is why I'm passionate about doing this, because I want you guys to understand you're capable of healing and shifting your situation internally, having a more healthier subconscious mental health and emotional well-being. Okay, and this is how we do this with Pisces in the 8th house. All right, guys? So we just want to make sure we're aware of our crutches and whatnot. Now, getting into the sexual natures, these people can be very adaptable, and remember, Pisces is mutable, right? And we know the mutable energies is flexible. They could adapt to this environment, adapt to this person, that person, that culture, that group. So when you have such a flexible sign like Pisces in that 8th house, when it comes into the sexual nature, they can be very accommodating. They could be very accommodating and adaptable dealing with their partner. They can read energy, flow with energy very well here when dealing with intimacy. All right. They can have a strong submissive nature here. Pisces is a very open, potentially passive energy. Pisces energy is about understanding the collective and understanding the subconscious of another party, another person. So here it can dive into, having a nature where they surrender to their partner, whether this is how they have that surrender like nature in their relationships, in sexual acts. They can have a selfless, sacrificial type of nature with sexual acts. So you have to make sure, Pisces in the 8th house, that you're not suppressing so much of what's pleasurable to you to just accommodate your partner. Because, sex is it's 50-50, man. And especially for my women out there, obviously, obviously a man naturally likes a submissive woman in the bed, right? I can't, and now it's 2022 age of Aquarius. I can't even speak for all men. People just want like different things nowadays. But with all that being said, the point I'm trying to get to is, you have to be careful, man or woman. Let me not dive too much into that, all right? Because I'm start jumping into relationship shit. With men and women, as a Pisces in the 8th house, you have to be careful of how much, once again, you give this sacrificial nature out sexually to the point you're really just living to serve your partner, but you suppressing things that you like to experience and how you like to be pleased, how you like to be nurtured. You may be dealing with a partner that's open to learn how you like to be taken care of or whatnot. So try to keep that balance there. All right. Try to keep that balance there. Okay. Because you guys are already great flowing with intimacy here. Okay. It's just that sacrificial, selfless nature can take over at times. All right. Now, for a lot of y'all, that's what pleases you. All right. So I'm just throwing that out there for some of those who may have experienced that. It's not unlikely for a Pisces and an 8th house person to be like, yeah, I was in a relationship for 3 years and I didn't really enjoy myself sexually because I just did everything my partner wanted me to do, this, that, and the third. Obviously, I wanted to take care of her or he, but this, that, and the third. Okay. So you want to be aware of that. Now, that selflessness, that sacrificial type energy, that shit could start taking place when we're talking about joint finances, when we're talking about you signing contracts and shit, because the 8th house, we're dealing with shared resources, taxes, joint finances and whatnot. So Pisces in this house has to be careful of the sacrifices they'll make for their partner on a business level or overall, because Pisces in the 8th house will make some sacrifices for their partner that they don't resonate with. Your partner wants you to take out a loan and shit because you got good credit, but They telling you they gonna do this, that, and the third, and pay you back then, and you like, it's nothing about your characteristics and your history since I've known you that confirms this. And I know the way my financial shit is set up right now. I'm really not in a space to be taking out a loan, even though I could. But all right, that you got to get on top of that shit right there, Pisces and 8th house, because this could start trickling into different forms of business you get into. This could start trickling into situations where you're signing contracts or you're getting into agreements and motherfuckers is trying to play with you with the percentages that you're owed and you deserve. So when it comes to anything dealing with joint finances, you have to make sure that you're as rational and logical as possible here, Pisces in the 8th house, and don't be taking nobody for word. Shit got to get written down on the. Shit got to get jotted down. We need contracts. All right? Don't be overly compromising here, Pisces in the 8th house, because obviously we have influences of Jupiter and Neptune, so things get a little blurry here, and then people try to play with you. Oh no, I thought you said this, that, and the third. Oh, I thought you said this, that, and the third. May feel that open nature from you, right? May feel that open ass, helpful nature from you when it comes to connecting on that level, and then they try to play with you. All right? So you guys have to be careful of that here. And as far as everything developing strong attachments and addictions, this can be intensified if you have planets in Pisces in this house. We want to know where Jupiter is at. We need to know where Jupiter is at, because Jupiter rules this house, and the house Jupiter is in is going to be the house where you're going to be experiencing transformations and where you're going to be experiencing a lot, period. You're going to be experiencing a lot there, period. You know, Jupiter is the experience planet. It's going to bring some expansion to the house. So there's going to be some spiritual awareness to be developed in the house that's going to ultimately lead to transformation in your life. Okay? But I need y'all to make sure y'all are stern when it comes to, these type of energies with joint finances and different companies and businesses and what your that you're financially invested in with other people and your partner. These is not situations where you could just be like, oh, okay, we'll see how it plays out. Or, oh, okay, no, hell no. Not Pisces in the 8th house. Hell no. Y'all get in all type of funny situations with your siblings and somebody left a will in the family, and then somebody trying to take you to court. Your own siblings, relatives trying to take you to court for some shit that's in the will for you, and you not even beefing about it. You like, yo, listen, Grandpops left the fucking house for me. It's in the will. What you taking me to court for? What did I do? Why are you trying to take away? Like, nah, that shit should have been mine. This, that, and like all type of stupid shit. That's why you can't just play. If your inheritances is one thing with Pisces here. Inheritances is gonna be one thing. All right. You got Grandma Neptune here and whatnot. You got Jupiter here now. So distant relatives, uncles and shit might have some shit left over for you. But including just your parents. But when it comes to the things that you initiate, you create with others, agreements you create with others, that's not for play. You cannot be playing here. All right. You got to know what's up, what's the numbers, what's the percentages. All right. You got to be ready to take your cousin to court. You gotta be ready to take family members to court with Pisces in the 8th. I swear to God, no bullshit. All right. A couple of more other things. These people have a strong emotional aura. They have a strong emotional aura, so they may not realize how people pick up on their feelings and emotions at times. They may not realize when they're trying to keep certain feelings and emotions hidden that it's kind of worn on their sleeve a little bit. So their aura could be very strong. They may be able to read other people's auras. Because they already have a strong sense of transparency and dishonesty. Do they have strong forgiving natures here? Yes, they may have. And that could get them in trouble here. It can get them in trouble. Dealing with loved ones here, they'll know you lying to them and won't confront you about it. Let shit rock, let shit slide. Okay? They can have negative examples of intimacy between their parents and allow their partners to get away with murder. Parents is married. parents stayed in the household together, never split, never broke up, never divorced, but demonstrated a lot of toxicity. Now, when you get into your relationships, you think as long as we stay together, it's okay. Nah, it ain't okay. It ain't okay. So this is why we have to acknowledge. We cannot dissociate from any form of trauma here. The more we acknowledge it, the more we get to opening up, healing wounds and opening up more opportunities for healthy relationships. Okay. Yeah. That's Pisces in the 8th house, man. That's Pisces in the 8th house. Some strong ass energies here. Once you guys start doing that shadow work, you guys become all type of astrologers, healers, teachers, spiritualists come out this house. People teaching a whole lot about sex. Wherever our Jupiter ruled houses are, especially where Pisces, Sagittarius, and Cancer is at in our chart, we could subconsciously do a whole lot of teaching about that area. So it could play out like that with Pisces here a lot of the times. Very, very intuitive individuals, very in tune mystics, spiritualists here with this type of placement. All right. And very highly creative individuals. This is Leo risings. It's Leo rising. So it's going to be a couple of different placements in the chart where Leo rising got some real creative shit going on with fire in the fire houses, water in the water houses. All right. Shout out to my fire rising. Shout out to my Leo risings. Okay, family. So that's what we got going on, man. It's your guy, Bora, the Lucky Libra. This Signs to the 8th House series has been one for the books. Every video hit. I think the shortest duration for the video this series was 27 minutes, 28 minutes. Wow. Okay, so that just lets you know how deep the 8th house is, how deep that Scorpio constellation is, and how much things we have to take into account with the 8th house. So I definitely enjoyed this series because I feel like we got to the meat and potatoes of understanding how to self-heal, all right, and how to persevere and embrace transformations in our life and understand how to initiate transformations in our life. All right, family. So I truly appreciate it if you liked or you shared or you subscribed. For all my newbies tuning in, okay, y'all make sure to tap in to my website if you'd like to connect with the Lucky Libra, and tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. And y'all already know next series we starting signs through that 9th house, baby. All right, family, until next time, peace.